reach. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Okay, welcome to a place called Sheet in Petersfield in Hampshire. Now, I haven't done a video for a while of my sessions because basically I've been suffering from man flu seemingly forever. I had 2 weeks off in December, another 2 weeks off in January, and I'm still coughing a bit. Anyway, today my coach Matt Reese, the Welsh runner, has set me sort of a light session, 3 minutes progression into 2 minutes, 1 minute, then 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then finish off with 4 by 30 seconds. So not too much of running. I'm going to try the Adios 9s here that I've got on my feet. Now these are very minimalist shoe. If you ever wore old school racing flats, these are exactly how they used to feel, but a nice sort of Light Strike Pro foam makes them sort of feel like a bit more modern take to them, but you certainly feel you got them very little on, very much like a slipper, I thought. And if you've got the Evo SL and managed to finally get a pair, these are basically a lighter version of them, simplistically, or the other way around. I think if you go for the Adios 9 to the Evo SL, you feel like you've got more on foot, but it's similar kind of ilk. No plates or anything in either shoe for sure. Anyway, so let's crack on with this warm up and then we'll get into the run as we go.
So while I'm playing out my first rep here, I started from the village of Sheet. Let's have a look at these shoes. So this is the Adios 9 in my UK 13.5. Just sort of picking them up now. There's just literally nothing to them. And this is the lightest shoe I've got, bar the Street Fly. Although I haven't actually worn the Street Fly for a while. But yeah, I mean, you can see that today it was sort of reasonably dry. It had been raining a bit. It's just a bit of moisture on the ground, and the outsole here, you kind of think it's quite a slick rubber, but I think it's called like this TPU rubber, and the only bit of continental rubber there is that pink bit there. And when I turn left in a minute, you'll see we're at quite a sort of a muddy, sort of like very narrow country lane. Didn't have any grip problems at all, apart from when it got really quite slushy towards the end of the rep. But yeah, I mean, in the old days, flats used to feel really sort of light and minimal, but there wasn't much cushioning to them, and usually when you've done a race or a hard session, you really did feel like your Achilles and stuff. And obviously at the moment I've got a few problems anyway, but this stuff, it's quite a revelation in terms of the fact that I did the sessions today. It was about 5 miles. I didn't really feel too much problems at all. I mean, it was like a good like for warming up, and when you actually get into the session, you can sort of hear a bit of background noise, quite noisy in a way, and there's a fellow runner going the other way. But yeah, I mean, there's just like nothing to this shoe at all, really. I mean, you kind of think there that it's all a bit tailed in at the back. Then you can that there might be a problem in Achilles, but because it's so light and minimal there, you don't really feel that it's got anything on your feet at all. And this upper, I mean, I've got very narrow feet, but the advantage of having a shoe which is like literally nothing to it, that is that you can pull it in. And the tongue here, it's kind of nice and thin. It's kind of like a sort of pseudo neoprene type material. And yeah, just actually fit well. And obviously with Adidas, although the laces are sort of like the ones you used to get from Woolies back in the day, they always have lots of eyelets, so you always feel like you could get a nice lockdown. And on the rep here, I'm going up slightly uphill bit, so it was kind of downhill for a bit, and then I was sort of then feeling like I was going to put some work in. And as you can see, it's getting quite muddy now on the ground. So yeah, you can see like, you know, I've got a bit of dirt on the ground here, but yeah, I mean, it's just like the insole there. I mean, it's a glued in insole, so there's not really much to it. I mean, if you had to wear orthotics, I think if anything, when it's a really minimal shoe, you don't really feel like you need to wear orthotics as much as you might do anyway. I think the fact that it's just lower to the ground, it feels like it gives you more support anyway. I think sometimes I feel like these high stack shoes make you more wobbly than it actually is. I'm not quite sure whether this is the Light Strike Pro for the new version or the old version. I think because there's so little of it, you just don't think there's too much to worry about, and it's just so flexible, isn't it? So yeah, definitely recommend a shoe like this one to give it a try, because yeah, I really feel it's quite an exciting shoe. And I think I'm just coming to the end of my rep here, so yeah, let's sign off and get back to my post-run commentary.
Okay, first 3 minutes done. That was alright actually. Enjoyed those shoes. A bit muddy at the end there, so for Ben Notley, I think I might have ruined them already. Right, already into my second one now.
Okay, this second rep of speeding up here was mainly uphill for the first bit through the village, and for the railway bus about to go over a level crossing when it had a very little bit of downhill.
Okay, it's 2 bits done. That's mainly uphill, so certainly feeling the light shoe. It just takes a bit of a while to get used to such a minimalist shoe again, I think. and just sort of getting used to running fast as well. But yeah, certainly do feel like they're making me sort of want to go fast, but without any sort of too much assistance, as it were. Right, next minute now.
Okay, this was the minute rep. So I tried to run as hard as possible. It was slightly uphill here, and for the railway bus, we've got the railway literally on the left here, and there was a train that came over the level crossing at the end of this road. So now back up to the 2-minute rep, and we got the railway on the right, just basically going the other way. This was slightly downhill here. I messed up on the segment because I must have had a bit of a start incorporated, a bit of a schoolboy error for sure, and just went back up this little hill to finish.
Okay, certainly working hard now. 2-minute one done, and tries to go sort of hard along the side of the railway there. There's a segment like that one, so see if I can make the top 10. I'll post if I did. I think I'll need to do about 6-minute mile pace on that. Right, so the last 3-minute one to go, and then into 4 by 30 seconds, which hopefully shouldn't feel too bad, should it? What have we got here? Water treatment works. Place called Sheet.
So back up to the 3-minute rep. It's quite a short session this, but a 3-minute rep at the moment, it feels like it's a fairly long way, and had a bit of a slight downhill once I got past the level crossing there, coming back towards the village of Sheet, and then have to go past the church on the left, and then basically repeating what I did for the first rep, got down this hill as much as possible.
Okay, the main set done. This last 3-minute one was downhill, so I got a bit of speed up, or at least so it felt. It's about 0.46 a mile. I'll check the exact stats when we go through the data later on. Right, I'm almost into these 30 seconds ones.
So we're off in the final 4 by 30 seconds. Definitely tried to put a bit more effort in this one. Sometimes they were slightly downhill here, and sometimes they were slightly uphill. But yeah, I was well under 6-minute mile pace. It felt like I was sort of not quite absolutely sprinting, but not far off for sure.
All 30 seconds reps are right in my wheelhouse. Anyway, one more to go.
We skipped on to the last one here. This is at 2 times speed. This was slightly uphill, but I felt like I was putting maximum effort into this one. I think I got about 5:15 pace, almost 5-minute pace on gap pace. It's only 30 seconds, but yeah, it felt like I was really moving well on this last one. Okay, so let's a quick look at the stats here. So yeah, just running around this village of Sheet. The first one there, 3 minutes at 6:30 pace with a gap of 6:18. So yeah, it was kind of down and up again at the end. So yeah, that's not too bad. The second one was mainly uphill. So again, interesting, the gap pace on the first two are identical. And on the third one there, again, it was slightly uphill. So I'm making work for myself. I got that down to 5:45 on gap and 6:05. And then back on the 2-minute one, that was kind of down and up again. So yeah, not exactly flat round here, but again, 6:16 gap. So I've been quite consistent, aren't I? And then on the third one, that was mainly downhill. So yeah, I was quite pleased with that, because obviously that's a 3-minute rep. You're going to struggle a bit more there. And then the 30 seconds there, 5:30 pace, that was just slightly downhill. 5:44, that was slightly uphill. 5:22, slightly downhill. And then that last one, slightly uphill, 5:15 pace and 5:01 gap. So yeah, well pleased with that. I always think it's interesting to look at the fitness and freshness graph, and this is almost a tale of woe here. This is the last year, and you can see here when I was ill in December, it dipped down. When I was ill again in January, it dipped down. It started to rise up again as I got back into training. But you can see here these dips here. Basically, I'm the worst fitness I've been for a long, long time. This was a year ago when I was sort of still going quite well. That's when I had my Achilles injury, was out in Portugal, did some reps on the track, and then was hobbling for quite a long time. Didn't really run at all for a while. Then I thought, well, I better get back on the bike, and at least the fitness started to increase. Then I started to put some running back. And yeah, this is when I sort of was racing John Broome in December. Although my fitness sort of went down, I think this fitness is very much related to volume. So even though I was doing park runs and 5Ks, I probably wasn't doing quite as much volume. So that actual graph went down. But as it turned out, each week I felt I was getting faster. Then almost immediately after that 5K against John, I got that first illness, and then it was down and down and down. So yeah, hopefully I'm back on the way up again. But yeah, fingers crossed. Hasn't been a great last year for sure. Okay, so I hope you found this interesting. Like and subscribe to that, and see you next one then. Bye. So just for John Broome, we'll do a War Memorial Interlude.
So on a road now called Town Lane, which I'm sure used to be the old main road through sort of towards Petersfield, because I've still got size in the ground here. And get them up close to my Adios 9s, a bit muddier than they were. Yeah, there's literally ones all the way up until you come to the dead end here. You can still obviously walk down there like that guy's doing, I'll be doing in a minute. And then kind of the new road from that roundabout went up, goes up through the trees there, heads back towards the A3. So clearly, looking at the alignment from there, I think it would have just shot straight down through here. So yeah, one for the Abandoned Roads Facebook group.